Hola Madridistas, welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. Um, I see Jacob in the chat, he's like, keep them chins up, lads. I would ask Jacob to, up his motivational skills a bit because honestly, I'm finding it really hard to look for silver linings here. Silver linings was the only thing that I was looking for. Pass pass a red card, like what if we nick a goal and just forget this game? Because it was forgettable from minute one. Before we get into the thick of things, how's the panel doing, man? Doris, Farouk, Javier, talk to me. How are you guys been feeling? I know you have been ecstatic post Liverpool. Javier and Doris was with me for the post match, and we were flying. We were dishing out savories to Klopp and his men. You know, we were calling out the Premier League fans. We were calling out everyone. Everyone under the sun. But tonight, we gotta take a long look at ourselves, don't we?
Yeah, I'll start. It's a little bittersweet um, momentum. Uh, you can tie against Atletico in La Liga, It's not a bad result on paper,
Your mic
but
is very muffled, Javier. Very, very muffled. Is it just for me, guys?
No, I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Yeah.
For me, it's very muffled. Fair enough. Go ahead,
uh,
Javier. My bad.
so it's it's not a bad result per se, but it's a bad result because we don't have the leverage that Barca has. So we knew that we have to win every single game until that Clásico. So that pressure is it's evident today for the game, how the game goes, how the changes go, how the atmosphere felt. It's not the same playing like we said at Anfield when you have nothing to lose or nothing to win, and you play more fluidly. Today, we play like Atletico wanted, with the necessity of winning. When there's a saying, when you play with necessity, you're probably gonna lose. So today, Alvaro, that's why I'm saying he was sick because Alvaro favors for a huge defeat, but it's the same. I mean, a tie or a lose for us at this point, I think it's the same, and I think this the La Liga is over. I would say so. It's Barca to lose, and I don't see that happening.
Right. Yeah. Um, it has been coming, man. Honestly, Barca has the clear advantage now, if they didn't already, And I remember a couple of weeks ago when things was completely going south for a bit. I was one of the few, one of many actually, who thought La Liga is completely over. And when I kind of expressed my thoughts, I was called out for being a part-time fan. Really, yeah. I was actually called out for being a part-time fan, for being fickle. You know, I don't understand how these guys actually watch the same games that we do and still believe this team. I'm talking about this team under the current circumstances turn this around. I didn't see a way back then. I didn't see a way back if we won this game, kept on winning, and even bet Barca at the new camp, which is a tall order. And now it just seems like it has been the inevitable, which has been slammed into our face by an athletic team that looked bang average. I repeat, bang average. Yes, they created a few chances. Yes, on paper, they looked a tad bit more brighter than us. Might like probably, but let's be honest here. Like we have faced up against much better athletic sides throughout the years. They weren't good in the Copa del Rey matchup quarterfinal. They weren't good at home in the league when Rodrigo and Vinny served them on a plate. They weren't good tonight either. they just scored off a one-off chance where Alvaro, Militao, and Rudiger, all three of them, just didn't anticipate the leap that Jimenez is going to get on the ball played in by Griezmann. I don't understand, man. Honestly, the mistakes keep on coming. It never seems to hit a wall and kind of wake up. Our defenders, our set piece defending, especially, has been atrocious all season. It has been for a long, long time. We have giants for defenders at the back. We don't have Alessandro Martinez, marking lanky forwards. We have really tall, physically imposing defenders in our Arsenal, and this is what we pull out. Honestly, man, Farouk, let me know your thoughts, bro.
I mean, I kind of share what Javier's points is. To be honest, like, a draw with Atleti is nothing, to cry about. And honestly, like, this game, even before the game, you always know what to expect. It's a game that's literally gonna have very few chances in them. So these are games that you're not gonna go in and have 4, 5, 6 goal scoring chances. And no matter how bad Atleti are, there's always that one thing with them that they will always just sit tight, be organized, be defensively disciplined, and what is not. And even we saw in the game at the Copa as well. I think we went to extra time 120 minutes before we could knock out this team from even the Copa. So it was a moment of individual brilliance from Rodrigo. Like, it was Rodrigo channeling his inner OG Ronaldo, man. So it was just an inspirational individual moment from Rodrigo that got us through that game as well. So, I mean, individual talent can only get you through, to some extent. I mean, you say mistakes while defending set piece. I kind of think it's just, it's not about a mistake anymore. I mean, if you do it 1, 2 times, it's a mistake. But when this is something that becomes, an habitual action, literally every other game, I think you can no longer call it a mistake. It's just, the lack of care, or I don't know, the nonchalant attitude of the defenders itself. Because the point is, Jimenez actually attacked the 2 centre backs, Militao and and Rudiger, the 2 centre backs. Honestly, I can forgive the young guy Alvaro. Like, it's I mean, he's a young kid, so I wouldn't put that
it's not
duty on him.
Alvaro's fault, man. It's honestly not his fault. He just came on.
I mean, the point is, if Jimenez is choosing to attack our 2 centre backs, that says a lot about our centre back theory. And the point now becomes this: if Morata wasn't a half brain person, he would have gotten a penalty in the 90th plus minute, 100%. If he just stood on his feet for 1 second more, Militao was bundling him over in the 90th plus minute after Alvaro had even gotten us back in the game. So that's just the thing. Like, it's this for me, it's not about the lack of the attacking intent in this game. It's more about this defensive lapses. Like, till when will till when will we, I don't know, when will we continue doing this? When will we start starting to realize that, okay, you can concede goals, but there are certain things that you should not do. There are certain things that should not happen at this level of football, you understand? But it's just so unfortunate that with a giant like Rudiger and a monster like Militao, you still face this kind of situations. But yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. And about La Liga, I mean, I've said this long ago. La Liga is done and dusted. Like, this is not the game where we lost La Liga. We've lost La Liga since, 2-3 weeks ago. So yeah.
Rayo Vallecano was a blip. Let's be honest. Right before the World Cup started, we were flying, and Rayo Vallecano, we actually, even though we felt hard done by, we couldn't downplay Rayo's team spirit, high flying nature. A very raucous home atmosphere. We were well and fairly beaten then. And right then I was like, yes, you saw that. This is the wake up call we needed. Right before the World Cup. We move into the World Cup not in a position of false security where we think, yes, we bet Barca in the Clásico. We have put together a nice set of winning runs, but like we spoke then, Farouk, like we have seen Ancelotti's teams in the leagues go on a very solid run and then capitulate, and I fear that has happened again. I think, yes, he has managed minutes better. Yes, he has rotated personnel bit more than his first stint. The World Cup is something that even Carlo's change in ideology wasn't able to cope, unfortunately. I think looking back, because our players looked out of depth for large parts post the World Cup, and results against Villarreal, a nil-nil, very encouraging nil-nil at home to Sociedad. Stuff like that has cost us, man. Like in previous seasons, we could clearly pinpoint many critical lapses in our team setup for the reason we actually fell way behind Barca. But this season, it is out there under the spotlight. It is so easy to um, pinpoint why we are in this predicament. You know, it is it is basically just three or four fixtures. That's it. That's it. You know, and even then, even when we drew to Sociedad, I still remember how I felt. Yes, a very open-ended game, end-to-end game. We created so many chances. We should have won the game. But I sat here thinking, you know what? Barca would be looking at that and thinking, we just need to be steady Eddie. That's it to win the league now. Steady Eddie. And that's all Barca has to do, man. Unfortunately, we have handed them the league. We have handed the league to a fucking Europa League team, a Europa League team which couldn't even
I'm
make
sorry,
the round
Sunil.
of
Like,
16.
I refuse to agree with what you're saying today. Like, the point is, you didn't hand Barcelona the league. Barcelona has conceded 8 league games, eight goals in 22 matches. That's not what you call handing the league, Sunil. I'm sorry, I can't agree with you with that. Like, I mean, let's call a
I
spade a
understand
spade.
the fact that they have been very
2022
defensively solid.
ball.
No, I understand.
Nah,
I understand.
you
But we
didn't
got to
handle
do our part, right? We got to do our part.
I
We
mean,
have
you
been very
capitulated.
poor.
You capitulated. I agree with you. Real Madrid like shut their pants, 100%. But about handing Barcelona the league, not this year, man. Like another time, but this season for sure. Barca has been shit in Europe, but call a spade, man. Like Barca has been good. Like they've been playing like champions throughout the year. They've grounded results 1-0 when they need to. They've won games 3-1 when they need to. So that's the thing. Like I don't think we handed them the league, but rather like, we shut our pants fine. But Barca has been
We
good
were
this
in a very good position. And when you let go of that position by your own lack of consistency, what is it then? Is it Barca
That-
snatching
exactly.
us? Snatching
Nah,
it from
no.
us?
No,
Oh.
that's
No, that's
you
commendable that you're actually lauding Barcelona. I'm all for it. Like I don't have any problems with that. I'm just telling you, we were in a position where we should have kept on going at it, you know, which we couldn't. So Barca took advantage, which I think. See, if you go back to November, right, things can change a lot in 3 4 months, and a World Cup in the middle as well doesn't help, right? But when we actually bet them at home in the Clasico, what was the vibe like? It was different. It was not like, yes, Barcelona was storming then as well. Remember, Barca was coming in to the Clasico on a very fine run of form. Very fine run of form. They were looking like they could get a result at the Bernabeu and kind of open the title talks wide open. But what happened? We put them to bed, not in some measly, um, like one-off lucky fluke win. We put them to bed thoroughly. We put them to bed in a way that we spoke like, hey, we are reigning champions. We are going back at it again. So from then to now, I can't say that Barca completely took it from us. I feel, honestly, personally, okay, this is my opinion. I feel like we have conceded it. Doris, do you share the same sentiment, man? Like your thoughts?
Well, first of all, for the thing you were speaking about before, I agree with both of you, and I believe there can be two truths in this story. Like we did hand them the league, but Barca, like to be fair, they're flying, man, and we're just not really fighting for it, I guess, anymore. And that's pretty much it. And tonight even sums that up. I mean, I think we're all pretty disappointed with this draw, and I don't think there's much to do about it. I mean, it's February, and we're already losing
It's
the league.
February. Let
Yeah,
that sink in, people. It's February,
it's February, yeah, and that sucks. That really sucks, and yeah, I don't see us coming back from this. But thankfully, we do have two trophies that we can still fight for, and yeah, I just hope that we give our all for those two, cause yeah, this one is pretty much out of the picture, yeah, and we are playing Barcelona next, and I don't like you just said how we beat them, last time and all that. I'm gonna see how confident you feel when we do the preview, because the way I see it, they just crashed out of the Europa League. Not really crashed out. I mean, it was Man United,
They
but
gave
yeah,
it a go. They gave it a go.
yeah. Since they're not playing for that trophy, they only have the league and the Copa, and
But they're gonna give it their all, man.
it's gonna be
They're gonna
really difficult.
I personally think they're gonna be more up for this than us.
Mm.
And unfortunately, only the Champions League can motivate our players, man. It has always been the case. It is the case this season as well.
It would seem
Like,
so, but tonight, at least for tonight, like I feel like Ancelotti was the like the biggest reason. Not especially for the second half, at least in my opinion. When he took off Asensio, I don't think that was a good idea, and it really slowed us down. We weren't creative, like nearly as we were before, and it's it wasn't the fault of the new players that we brought on, but Asensio was really something this game, and something actually was happening on the right side. And if you look at the stats for the first time ever, I think the both sides played equal attacks, which was very interesting. But yeah, I guess we'll talk about the players later.
Actually, good point, George, because I was thinking, am I the only one like that actually felt like, why is Tchouaméni coming on for Asensio in this game?
Exactly.
I was like
Why?
thinking like, why?
Fede was
I
pushed
could not
onto the right. I
understand it.
see. In hindsight, it all looks bad. When it happened, I kind of understood that because I was thinking, like, Atleti is in a very low block and kind of pushing us into the center. Everybody was narrow. Vinicius was narrow. Alvaro was playing behind Benzema. There was only basically Fede or Carvajal, or when Vasquez came on for Carvajal, those guys down the right who provided some sort of width. Because Vinicius wanted to stay
But
inverted.
is Tchouaméni providing you which? This is the question I'm asking. I can
Tchouaméni was
understand it.
playing down the middle. Fede was on the right, bro.
What I'm saying is keep Fede on the right, bring on Lucas Vasquez, bring on Camavinga, bring on anyone but Tchouaméni in this game.
Yeah. So the error of Carleto wasn't the change for Asensio. Asensio needed to be changed. I think the error was putting out Ceballos. That's the error. Ceballos for Tchouaméni was the error because you can play perfectly with Dani, Luca, and Eduardo, and then substitute Nacho and so. I think the mistake was bringing Tchouaméni to this game. This game, I agree with you. This game didn't need Tchouaméni, but the error was not substituting Asensio. Asensio for Fede was a good idea.
See, this
And
is the
then
thing, yeah.
keep Dani. This game need Dani and Luca, because like Sonny said, we didn't perform well on the flanks. Bini was dry out by Savic and Molina. And on the left side, it would happen exactly the same for Fede. So what we needed to do was a strong midfield, because they were all out Koke and Saul. Bring more people to the middle, and these more people you can perfectly play with Eduardo on defended midfield and
Yeah.
Luca and Ceballos. Both of them are great players, and then substitute. The other change. I think it was. I don't remember when he brings Alvaro. Was a perfect idea because you can
Yeah.
only play Vini on the forward, Alvaro, Benzema, and then Alvaro. What
Alvaro,
happened
yeah.
was the substitutions were great against one. I think this game was harsh for Tchouaméni because he didn't bring anything to the table because he
I
doesn't
thought
have anyone to follow.
I thought he brought something to the table. Honestly, like I can't understand like the sentiment. Yes, maybe Kamavinga being pushed down to the left back would have kind of hindered our midfield control. But honestly, when Javier, you said Danny Ceballos taking off Danny Ceballos was the wrong thing to do. Honestly, from the first half, I don't think, apart from maybe like couple of bright moments, what did Danny Ceballos do, bro? Can you tell me that?
I think for me, hindsight, man, like it's not about Dani Ceballos or Marco Asensio or whatever. I think the point I think that we're all trying to make is that bringing on Tchouaméni in this game wasn't the abilities, what the characteristics that Tchouaméni exhibit wasn't needed in this game. And I think that as you guys also are saying, the point is, at least for me, my substitution was, if it was gonna be, it was Marco Asensio for Lucas Vazquez directly. This was what was in my mind actually, because as you guys
That's a
said,
good
like, we
shout.
had no width. We had literally zero width, and honestly, like they did a very good job on Vinicius. And obviously, this is it. Like Savic and Molina, these are very good players. You can understand this can happen.
Savage was really good tonight.
Honestly, so that's the thing. Like, I mean, irrespective of who went off or who came on, I just felt like Tchouaméni wasn't meant for this game, and even to some extent, Toni Kroos as well. Honestly, like, but I don't know, man.
Toni Kroos, I don't understand what is going on with Toni Kroos, man. It's increasingly looking like he's gonna call it a day at the end of the season. I don't want that to happen, and I see it in his face. You see his face, you see his expressions when he comes on, when he goes off. It's not looking good, bruv. I'm gonna tell you, simple as. It's not looking good for Toni Kroos. His
Well, I
body
mean,
language. It's not looking
I
good.
don't know, man. Tony came back off of an illness, so I don't know, honestly. To be
I
honest.
understand all that. But for a while now, Toni Kroos has been iffy. Like, like even the couple of games before he actually fell ill. I don't know. And especially, let me also get this in. Whenever he comes in, Tchouaméni is not there. So what is he gonna do? Play a 6. He is not a 6. I don't understand why he's the guy who has to drop between our defenders to play out of the back. It's always the case. Why is he the last guy?
I think that's exactly the reason why he's. I wouldn't say mad, but he's not happy with his role in this at this moment.
Understandable.
I mean,
understandable.
It's the role he has to fill because, like you said, Tchouaméni is not there for this match, and I think Eduardo is not reliable in that position, at least for the eyes of Carleto at this moment in his career. I think eventually Eduardo will be the substitute number 6 when Tchouaméni is out, or like I mean, it was.
And
like
he can do a job. We have seen plenty of
moments.
times.
I mean, briefly for today's match, I think Carleto was the idea to play with Eduardo and Tchouaméni and bring absolutely freedom to Luca. I think the red card for Correa changed that, changed that because it would free completely.
Yeah,
from
but
any
taking off
responsibility.
Asensio at the same time just like really, really, really slowed us down. And you could say that you could put Valverde on the right wing, but they're just doing the same thing over and over that we always do. And we don't even have Rodrigo for this match, so we're double screwed on that. I think it's just the way it is. Like this game, I feel like even the players and the coach made some questionable decisions, and we only came off with a point. But I think with Tchouaméni, the Asensio coming off was the worst. decision. And I would even say he was one of our best players in the first half.
Not gonna lie, Asensio was good. But yeah, like you see here in this very panel, all four of us has different thoughts, very different thoughts on why the game went that way. But we gotta actually look at the players themselves. I've got a few names here, honestly, which I just can't understand why their decision making was off, why they looked less sharper than at Anfield. I don't understand. But we got to get to some of the comments. Jacob is in the chat. He was saying, totally got the subs wrong. This is on Ancelotti. Agree with Doris. Yeah, the subs, man, I don't understand, honestly. It could have been better off without Chouameni in midfield. Honestly, when he came on, I thought, yes, he would add a bit more steel, and he has a capability to actually hit long-range shots. So, maybe hit a long-range shot or black parry set around and someone taps in the rebound. I don't know. Ricardo Bengling is also in the chat. Big up you, man. He says, I've never witnessed a back-to-back Ligas as a Madrid fan. It's I don't see it happening anytime soon. We need to start. Sorry, Javier?
Yeah, just to point that out, how long has been for us. There is no current Real Madrid player that has won back-to-back La Ligas.
When was the last back-to-back La Liga won?
2007 to 2009.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
That's
No.
a start.
2006, 7, and 7, 8, right? 6, 7, and 7, 8.
I
Right.
think it's yeah. 6, 7 with
7,
I
8.
think it's Capello, and the next one I think it's I will get that wrong. So it was just to guys in the chat let you know that probably some of you wouldn't be bored yet. It's like we used to play with Higuain and
We used to have
Alisson.
guys like Diarra. We used to go.
And basically, that La Liga of La Remontadas was a very historical one. It was, I think, the first, season for Marcelo, Ramos, and then Reyes, rest in peace.
Oh, Jose Enrique Reyes, yeah.
Yeah, that's how far it's been. The last season we used to have, Marcelo that was in those ligas, but now we have no one, and that's crazy because if you move your head and know that it's basically 12 years for Dani Carvajal and Nacho and Lucas Vázquez and Modric and Toni Kroos has been so Benzema. Benzema has not won back-to-back La Ligas as a Real Madrid player. We basically had it last two seasons when we basically get robbed by the referees until the last game. The infamous handball to Militao. But that's the closest we have been to a back-to-back La Liga because we usually have like wonderful La Liga and we basically destroy everyone. And next season we get basically this. I just to round up my thought. I agree with Farouk. We don't handle La Liga to Barca. Barca has won it in their own right because losing La Liga is bleeding points when the other team is bleeding points as well, but you're bleeding more out if you understand,
Yeah.
Barca draws, we lose.
That's what I said because I can clearly see Barca is not going to go invincible. Yeah, like they are clearly going to drop more points, but we are going to drop more than them. That's factual. We know how this team is gonna perform. We have seen this before. We are not in that momentum like we were in the past season where we could actually thump teams or win out of nothing. Yes, we have seen glimpses of that this season, but not enough. I think we just ran out of luck, man, this season. Last season, Vinny and Benzema was on a different level, and that kind of alleviated so many cracks that we had in the team. But unfortunately, when those two guys are not firing, this is what happens. Yeah. Going back to Ricardo's comment, I got sidetracked. He said, I have never witnessed back-to-back Ligas as a Madrid fan. We need to start winning more league titles. Facts. This has been a trend for years now, and it's not good enough. Jacob also says, big win from this game. Alvaro arrives. Yeah, we'll get into it. Honestly, a day like today should have been all about the guy, Alvaro Rodriguez, 18, 19. First game, 7 minutes, 1 assist. This game, 6-7 minutes, a goal. He's so decisive for a man of his age. Tremendous potential. This just goes to show how much Raul and Carlo kind of work together, and the club also pushes this agenda of actually picking out players that are kind of ready for the first team and putting them in the deep end. This kind of seems to work. I think we have a blueprint for actually integrating players now. At least under this management.
Wait, did you say we have a blueprint? Did you say we have a blueprint?
We kind of have a blueprint. Would you have said the same thing last season, Farouk? Just go back 12 months.
What
Would you
blueprint do we
see?
have?
Would you see yourself watching us play and Carlo bringing on someone like Alvaro Rodriguez? No, you don't.
I mean, no, that goes to show how much trust they have in Alvaro Rodriguez more than the likes of Arribas and Marvin and all the others. I don't think they
Arribas
have a
is needed.
blueprint.
Arribas is needed. For
I
the
think
Segunda. That's why he's not being called up. Alvaro,
And
Arribas,
isn't he
and
needed?
these guys have all the faith from the management. Come on,
What
man. We got to pick them up when they're doing something good, right?
What fate, what blueprint? I'm saying to you, like Alvaro, I think he's a special case here. That's the thing. But I don't think there's a blueprint anywhere. All these guys are just gonna go on loan and come back and toil around here and there. I mean, obviously we have a lot of talented guys that normally should be playing, but I totally disagree when you say we have a blueprint. Like, what blueprint? What evidence do we have to show? I mean, we went to Saudi Arabia.
I'm telling
we
you,
scored
going
4
off
goals.
the last 2
goals.
months.
Arribas was on the bench. We scored 4 goals in Saudi Arabia. Arribas was on the bench. The man could have gotten extra 5-10 minutes here and there. No, he wasn't going to play. To bring on the substitutes, he brings the players that have won the Champions League 5 times. So when you talk about a blueprint, man, we ain't got no blueprint nowhere, man.
I'm telling you, you're going to eat your words in a bit. Like you ate your words with Kamavinga, like you have eaten so many humble pies, bro. I'm telling you, under Carlo, we're going to see a change. I'm telling you. Last year, I was with you. Last year, I was with you, slandering him, right? But now when I see that he is doing something, I got to give him some flowers, honestly. That's what I'm doing. I'm not the biggest Carlo advocate here, And I know that you have a clear agenda against Carlo, but when he's doing something right, just accept it for once, But let's move on from that bit. I gotta actually get into Vinicius and Benzema, who I think has choked hard tonight. The amount of shots they have let off over the bar, out of bounds in this game is atrocious. Like I can't understand how they completely lose their footing, their composure, their shooting boots at Anfield. Clearly, there was a hangover from Tuesday night. Javier, like, your thoughts, man?
I mean, Vini had a very regular game, nothing special. But I'm gonna point out Benzema. Benzema has an awful game. He didn't understand very good his position until Alvaro Rodriguez came in. I mean, Vini struggled with Savic and Molina, like we said. And if it wasn't for Hermoso, I think he will score basically the same goal that he scores at Anfield. But it wasn't a game for Vini because, like I said it a million times, when Benzema is out, Vini is out as well. Because he tends to rely so much more on Benzema. And it's a good thing, Vini is a rising star, but Benzema is a Ballon d'Or. So today wasn't a good. I didn't like anything about Benzema for today's game. I will understand that you cannot substitute your star, but if you ask me, if Rodrigo was available, I would
We
probably
missed Rodrigo.
substitute Benzema for Rodrigo, and keep Alvaro and play with Vini, Alvaro, and Rodrigo. So, yeah, we don't see this fully fit Benzema, and this is a recurrent thing for the whole season. We have a very good game, and then he disappears for a 2 or 3 or gets injured. We don't get this consistency, like you said, of Vini and Benzema for last season. Last season was superb, Benzema. This season, I think, all round, it's a better season for Vini than last one. But it's an insanely worse season for Benzema. But insanely, there's no doubt. And this guy, we need him. And if he needs to rest for the next, I don't know, La Liga games, just to be fit against Barca in La Copa and then Champions League. I mean, like you said, this La Liga is basically out. Why don't rest Benzema whenever he needs? There's no point of tying him up after a season with his picking injury to injury to. I mean, for me,
And
Benzema was below average. Like if I have to shut up in a negative way, one player for today is basically Benzema for me.
For me as well, like them both, like we hold them to such high standards. It was way below that. You made an interesting point, which we have discussed, ever since we felt like the La Liga title race has been slipping away. Rest is needed for Benzema, especially after last season. We saw this coming. I predicted this way back, way before we won the double last season. Benzema is never going to have a season like he had last year. It is just understandable. He's human. He's not Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. But the thing is, like, if we rest him too much, he would lose match sharpness. So we gotta handle Benzema just right, that he is fresh enough and also has that momentum in him to actually be decisive, like he was decisive at Anfield, like he has been decisive in the last 10 or so knockout games. We need him bad, man. Like if Benzema is half fit, he's nowhere near the Benzema, when he's like nowhere near the peak Benzema, I mean, because when he's not sharp, he's not as intuitive. He's not as clever on the ball. He just loses his mystic powers. Let's just say. But Farouk, talk to me about Vinicius, man. Wasn't this a case of a midweek fixture, a big fixture where he was burnt out too much, and then on a Saturday he has to go again against a very, very stubborn Athletic defense.
Yeah, I think that's the case, and as Javi rightly pointed out, if not for the head of Hermoso, like most likely he would have repeated the trick here, down at Anfield. And I think one big difference you have to see from there is that at the game against Liverpool, he was defended by Trent Alexander-Arnold and Joe Gomez, but now you come and he's being defended by Savic, and who in my opinion was the man of the match, and Molina was the World Cup winner. So it was a whole different ballgame. Like, these are defensive specialists, like these are people who are known for their defensive ability. So it was just, it was a cage game, and considering that Atleti also played a low block, honestly, I can kind of understand the drop off there for Vini, honestly. And also I feel like in this kind of games, that's where you feel like you want that natural fullback, who's gonna provide an outlet for Vinicius Junior. But there were lots of time when Vini was stuck in a maze, and like there was no one providing that outlet for him, honestly. So it was just, and Benzema, was very good at providing that. But in this game, as you guys rightly pointed out, honestly, like Benzema was below par, honestly, a lot below par. So I think that's one of the things. It's not just about Vini himself; it's about what's happening, around him as also. It's been a really down game, and honestly, like when it doesn't work for either Benzema or Vinicius, like it's literally emotion for us actually.
I kind of agree. It is a culmination of so many factors that ends up in days like this when we just don't click, man. And when we don't click, it's so frustrating to watch because we are a team that relies on players actually rubbing like vibing off each other, or like playing off each other. Like we depend on it so much because we don't have, like we've discussed before, a very tactically astute system of seeing out games. Like we have a very loose framework to how we tactically set up, and the rest is dependent on the players. And when the players are a little below their optimal performance levels, we just look out of sorts. But yeah, man, almost like 17 of you in the chat. If you haven't smashed the like button already, please smash the like button. And if you're actually new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also turn the notification bell on so that you guys know when we actually schedule a live. Also, Jasmine Pahua in the chat, nice to see you again, man. He says, I think Real Madrid has given up on La Liga and are focusing on the Champions League. It is a very dangerous game to play. I'll tell you that, it is not something that we can bank on. It is something that we can be hopeful towards, but I don't think it is something that can be banked on to see out the season.
That's historically the case, Sonny.
Mm-hmm. I know it has been historically.
I will try to point that out. The silver lining of this bullshit, losing La Liga in February, is basically in the 14 Champions League titles of Real Madrid, only twice has we won La Liga and Champions League. We basically, there have been seasons that we won Champions League and finished 8th in La Liga. It's basically ridiculous how this polarizing team, but that's Real Madrid. That's the only team. You can only access to Champions League by winning La Liga or finishing 2 or 3. But this is for the past years. Wasn't the case. All winning Champions League. So in the middle of the 97, 98, and 2000, when we won 3 Champions League, 2 of those, we basically accessed to Champions League by winning it, not by position in La Liga. So this is our history. We as a fans, we basically want to win every single title. And it's awful for us that we are doomed to be a show in Europe and in a disaster at home, but it's the history of Real Madrid. I mean, would you rather win the 15 champions earlier than the 36 La Liga? We are basically said it at the beginning of the season. Yes, that's the reason why Real Madrid is different. It's built to win Champions League, not built to win La Liga. It's an historic thing. And sometimes in the past 20 years, Barca has won more La Ligas than in the previous century. Because, like Farouk said, we usually have won La Ligas because we're basically at this level, this level of football. There's so rare of either team winning La Liga by 100 points or 100 goals. They usually have like 80 points or so, and win it by a lower margin between the first and the sixth. Has been like that all the time, like a Premier League or so. This polarizing thing, it's not helping us, because in the sprint run we can manage to do it, but in the marathon we're basically doomed to lose against a Barca side or Atletico side. There are these underdogs for every single team. And like I said it earlier in so many podcasts before, every single team outplayed themselves against Real Madrid. There's no because you need to beat the Champions League champion. You need to beat the best team in the world. You planified your whole season for those two games. It's not happening with Barca. It wouldn't happen at any single point for Atletico or Valencia or Bilbao. They have their rivalries, but it's one or two. The whole La Liga is our rival. And if we don't understand that from the get-go, we're not going to win La Ligas regularly.
I completely share the sentiment, man. But all this talk, yes, like if we go deep, it'll be good. But like last season, I think this is a very dangerous game to play. Who was speaking in the background? Was it Farouk? I can't see him.
You can see me?
I mean, like I'm looking at the comments, so I can see only the person who is speaking. So were you trying to say something? Go ahead.
No.
Like I was.
No, I wasn't saying anything. No.
Right. Yeah, like I would like to come to Doris, man, actually, because honestly, in my opinion, all this chat about yes, like we have a history of actually, like seeing it through with the Champions League, like defining a season using a Champions League success, all that talk in February, I think it's way too premature. I think it is way too dangerous a game to play. Like, do you share the sentiment, man?
Oh yeah, definitely. It is very dangerous, and I mean, like we said, it is only February, and trailing behind Barca for so many points, obviously in February isn't ideal, and I mean, I feel like we as fans feel pretty good with beating Liverpool the way we did, but to be realistic, there are many games to play until the final, and yeah, I agree with you completely. It was very early, to give up, if we could even call it that, and yeah, that's pretty much
It is a shame. It is a shame, honestly. Like 3-4 months before the season ends, and we are in this state. Like,
yeah.
I've been there. I've seen that. I've seen us in much dire situations. Like against Pep's infamous Barcelona. Like we literally conceded leagues around this period, and it never felt good. It never felt good, honestly. It was always a chore to actually and then sit through La Liga games. We sit through La Liga games because we love this club. We want to see our players prosper. We want to see our club prosper. And also, La Liga is like from now on until the end of the season, La Liga will be used as a sort of a mock training session. Let's be honest. And that has what this has come down to. It is shocking, honestly. Just Mohit Pahwa in the comment section, he says, I think the bench quality isn't good enough. I don't think you have been watching us for long, Just Mohit, because we have been banging our drums on about our lack of activity in the transfer market, our very laid-back approach to negotiations, how we are the nice guy in the transfer market. We don't want to piss off anyone. We don't want to take players off of loan and whatnot. So we have just reaped, what we sowed, man. Unfortunately, he also goes on to say, I mean, even Napoli bet them 5-2. I hope you're talking about Liverpool, yeah. Which I completely agree. Liverpool, yes, they are a team who are in the mud. I think the feeling that we portrayed and the feeling all around Europe preceding the result was a case of, like they are back for revenge and blah blah blah. We have a history, like 2 Champions League finals in the last like 3-4 years and whatnot. So the backdrop was kind of what made it an occasion, a celebration. Let's just call it. Like what went down, honestly. And also the manner we won the game. We were 2-0 down away at not your random you know, Mercedes-Benz Arena. It was Anfield. Let's not forget that it was Anfield, and we were 2-0 down, and we came back. So we came back in a manner, that was really really commendable. So we absolutely had every right to celebrate, and we did. And I did mention on that very podcast, Doris was here, half asleep or fully asleep, but she was here. She was listening to me. Also, Javier was here. I told you guys we're gonna celebrate for that night, but after that, we know what we are getting back to, and I guess we predicted the La Liga form, punching us in the face again. Jasmoit again says you watch La Liga games because you're actual Real Madrid fans and not the plastic Penaldo ones who arrive once Champions League comes. I don't think there are any more Penaldo fans left. Honestly, I think they've checked out. He also gets to say also I was so way off predictions. Oh, I think about the Liverpool game. I remember you said something along the lines of 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, that game was wild. But yeah, a completely different contrast to Tuesday. You know, tonight was a night I was hoping that like we can take some morale, back on board. But I guess the team was still recovering from Anfield, and it's only normal. It's only normal, and it's not gonna let up. We play Barcelona on Thursday. Farouk, we have a preview coming up Tuesday, hopefully. With the guys we did the preview back in November. But man, like this doesn't bode well, right? Like this basically gives Barcelona a tremendous vote of confidence. Not just in La Liga, but the whole general mood of both clubs. It's like it's like two extreme poles, right? Like nobody can be at the top together, so it's always up and down on either side. And definitely after tonight, Barca would feel better, right?
I mean, they still have a game to play, but I want to assume that it's against Almeria, and Almeria are like
Almeria.
in the bottom three of La Liga, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, honestly, like this is not a morale boosting victory, but the point is, it's a classical, honestly. Like I mean, because if we're gonna talk about that, I mean, we should be blowing Atletico out of the water, this evening, But again, we still didn't. So it gives to show that these games actually aren't all about the form and all these kind of things, because these are, although like it's not a derby, but it's a really really historical and very tense game. So I'll just say like honestly, I would back our team because I feel like our team is much more better than their team. But the thing is, confidence is something that's really important, honestly, and I feel like this game honestly has if it was after the Liverpool game, our morale was really high, but after this game, honestly, like we've taken a bit of a blow in the confidence side. So yeah, I think you can have a point where you say Barca are gonna feel the high of this, and especially with their exit from from Europa League as well, they're gonna put their all into this. And let's not forget, like just like the Champions League is our League, Copa del Rey is Barcelona's trophy as well. I mean, they've always won that irrespective of what's happened. So that's I mean that's the truth, man. Like you could see, no matter how bad Barca are, they always win. They always find themselves in the semi-finals, finals of the Copa, man. So they literally know they're like this is their bread and butter, man. So they know how to play this tournament. So yeah, it reduces the confidence going into this game.
It's not gonna be easy. Yeah, go on.
Sorry,
Javier.
if you let me, I disagree with you both because I know this is a blow, a time against Atletico, but La Liga was basically done for ourselves. So we didn't lose that much on this game. This is a confirmation
But
that we lose La Liga
it is just
from-
another beatdown, and it's not
Yeah.
your regular game, right? It's a derby, right?
But it's not that huge of a blow, if you let me. It's a bigger blow being out of Europa League. I
Yeah.
think so, because you rely on, you are already out of Champions League, and you're basically out of any Copa or money that they desperately need in February as well. So yeah, this was a confirmation for us that we have a good moment, and we don't have that huge moment that like we thought. But Barcelona, is if they manage to perform poorly or regularly or even winning by a lower margin tomorrow, I think it's pretty even in the Clásico. Because like Farouk said, yeah, they love to play La Copa del Rey, but we love to play against Barcelona. So for me, it's basically everybody's game in the mentality department, but in the squad department, we're better. They're not gonna play on. I think Pedri is out. I think some of the regulars are out. So for me, and I will finish on this. If tomorrow is not perfect for Barcelona, the momentum is gonna be at least equal or even perfect for Barcelona tomorrow. The momentum is gonna be better for us. I still think so because losing La Liga in February it's a blow. Yeah, for sure. But we didn't lose La Liga in this moment.
Yeah.
This game for Atletico, we lost it so many weeks ago. But being out in the Europa League in this week may affect Barca even more.
It also has huge financial implications as well. Europa League was going to fetch them a fair bit of money to actually, basically feed the club, man. Like I think they'll eventually run out of levers to pull and whatnot. So Europa League was a huge source of income for them, and yeah, like you said, it's a blow. And also, yeah, see you in a bit, Javier. We're gonna wrap it up in a bit as well. But yeah, see you soon, man. Take care. If Doris is okay to bring up some more comments, just Mohit also says, yep, I was predicting La Liga form. Oh, La Liga form. Fair enough. He wasn't mentioning about the Anfield prediction. He also says Barca has Dembele and Pedri injured. You guys have a chance. Barcelona's injury woes do make them a little less fluid. I agree. Like Rafinha, although he's good, he's not as versatile or as aggressive as Dembele. So I do share the sentiment, but come on, and Barcelona has a very, very fleshed out tactical plan to actually see out games, and that worries me, man. Even against United, for the first half, they should have been well and far away behind. I think the second half, Xavi kind of relaxed and let the play unfold and was kind of a little too late to make changes. Then that's why they suffered against United. But like losing like 2-1, I think they lost, losing by a goal margin away at a very, very, very resurgent United side. It's not a big catastrophe, like honestly. Like, yeah, we can banter them, obviously. I did, to my mates as well, but like the actuality is United is not a slouch, now. Erik ten Hag has actually set them up pretty nicely. So Barcelona, man, I don't think they're gonna be that bad, honestly. He also got to say, I know this is off topic, but Barca did lose to a transformed United without their key players, so it's gonna be a tough challenge regardless. Yeah, we sure know, man. We sure know. Barcelona, honestly, if anybody has a number, with like number on us, like it's them. We are everyone's bogey team. They are our bogey team. Like it always will be. Even last season when we were flying, we lost 4-0 at home. 4-0 at home, bro. So this is just giving me PTSD at this point. He also got to say Xavi doesn't know how to adapt. People have kind of thrown that remarks around at Xavi. I kind of agree, but he is a man who is basically like learning on his job. It's his first major coaching job. Yes, he has coached in Qatar, but we all know that accounts for little. This is his first major job, and he has already done a very tremendous job, man. Honestly, it gives me Zidane vibes, and I hope that like the whole Xavi situation doesn't end up like that. But man, Doris, let's move on to the sole silver lining or the sole, light from tonight's performance, which was Alvaro Rodriguez. Um, Whenever you see this kid, there is something about him, right? Like either it's his aggression, either it's his eagerness to actually get on the end of things. There was actually a cross, I think, from Vinny, which he almost got on the end of, like after he scored the set piece. Like, can we count on this kid even in big Champions League games? When we need to change the pace of the game a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was the only Alvaro I was rooting for there, and yeah. I mean, that kid proved it even last game in the cup. He had two assists, right? And I mean that that should show you that he should be given a chance. But I saw a lot of people saying that we should start, our Castilla players in the Champions League, and I don't know about starting them. I mean, that is a big leap, from coming on, 5 to 10 minutes. And the people were saying, but they see each other every day, they train every day, and I don't think that's really a good way to, compare those situations. So I would
Training together and actually playing a Champions League game is just like entirely different kettle of
yeah,
fish.
like I don't see what people are saying that.
But let me ask you
But
this. Let me ask you this, Doris. Like, if we go and take maybe a 2-0 lead, yeah, or a 3-0 lead, optimistic circumstance, yeah. Can we bring on people like Alvaro or Arribas
definitely,
like
yes,
around the
definitely.
60th, 50th minute?
I wouldn't say that we even need that, but Ancelotti needs that, and
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
I don't think it's a smart thing to start them, but
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
to bring them on, we can obviously see that Alvaro is on fire, and obviously he's still needed in Castilla, and it is a difficult decision for the club in general, because he basically plays for two teams now, and yeah, basically every time that he's come on for us, he's made a change or something incredible. And tonight, he almost got a second goal. I don't know if you remember the second header that he almost got to, but yeah, if he scored even that, I don't think we will be even talking about this. And it kind of feels like he has that Rodrigo spirit in him. Every time that he comes on, something happens.
But let's sorry for interrupting. Let me just ask you this, Doris, because the thing is this, like, as I've said earlier, I don't think, Castilla guys are gonna come and play like in this team. Honestly, but one thing I can say for sure is that Alvaro seems to be a special case because even the way Carlos speaks about him is different. You understand? But you actually rightly made a very good point here that he's playing for two teams, like he's in the Castilla. But then I'm thinking like the point is we don't have a second striker in our team. Mariano is never gonna play. Then why don't you just let Alvaro train with Benzema always and be on the substitute bench? That's okay, obviously because he's still developing. That takes a lot of playing time from him. But it's something that exposes him to training with one of the best strikers in the world. Like it's a very very good opportunity for him. Case in point, I will give you, for example, Phil Foden. When the likes of Sancho were going out to other clubs and what is not. He stayed at City, trained with David Silva, wasn't playing a single minute, and we can see what happened to Phil Foden now. You understand? So that's also something you can take because the point is why play for Castilla then when your team literally doesn't have a second striker and you can train with the best striker in the world. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, what I'm saying is, in general, we're in a bit of a pickle, there. Just not using our transfers or not having transfers. Alvaro shouldn't even be in this position where our coaches for the Castilla and for the senior team even have to choose there. He seems like a luxury that we even get to call him, because I feel like we're so used to just not playing them that I feel like uh, we're not even trying to imagine it anymore because I feel like we stopped trying there, and someone mentioned Mariano's here. I'm sorry, but yeah, for Alvaro, for Alvaro, obviously we really, really, really need him, and it is obviously costing us that we have Mariano on the bench that cannot do anything when we have Alvaro right there for us.
Let me
But
actually address that. Like Farooq, when you said, like, Doris makes a very good point. Like what she says is also true. But Farooq, you should understand that, like, unless you're something that special, a club of our stature is never going to fast track a guy playing in Castilla directly into the first team, hands down. This is his like breaking out season, hopefully. And next year, when Mariano is completely gone, you'll see this. You'll see that Alvaro's with the squad. I don't think anybody can hide anymore with regards to this kid's talent. And I
Well,
clearly,
that's the point I'm trying to make, because the point is,
yeah.
I don't remember a time where we needed a goal in an important game that Carlo Ancelotti has actually trusted a player from Castilla onto the team. I don't, maybe
Never.
I remember wrongly, but I've never seen this. And as I've said, like during his interviews, the way he speaks about this kid, it tells you that, because the point is, we know Carlo, he has just a group of 14 players that he trusts, and literally, even if you're Messi, he doesn't give a shit about you. He's not gonna play you. You understand? So I kind of feel like he has earned the trust of this guy. And if this is the case, that Carlo trusts this guy, then why keep fluctuating him between the two teams? Let him just stay here, be your second striker. He gets 5-10 minutes here and there, but keeps on training with Karim Benzema at least, and he learns the trade there. You understand? I mean, for the case of the Arribas and the Marvins and all that, I mean, I could give a flying fuck about that. I really don't care, because I've seen that Carlo doesn't really fully trust them. At least the way I've seen that he chose that. He trusts
But let me tell you this, Farooq, going by the signs that I've been seeing, and the reason why I'm putting my neck on the line again for 70-year-old serial chewing gum addict, Don Carlo Ancelotti, it is because I clearly see that there is some sort of an evolution in his philosophy. And I think we are gonna benefit from that, like by the end of the season. Like touch wood, fingers crossed, and all of that. Hopefully, Alvaro is like the Rodrigo of last season. And let's not forget, Rodrigo was missing in action tonight. If Rodrigo was there, I guarantee you, if obviously if we are 1-0 down and we are kind of looking for inspiration, he has done that before. But the game at 1-0 down didn't look exactly in a manner where we would actually take the next goal or take the initiative. But at 1-1, needing another goal to actually seal the game, if Rodrigo was on, we would have actually nicked it. But unfortunately we missed him. We're gonna miss Modric for the next game against Betis. He picked up a silly yellow. It is what it is. But a couple of comments, man. Ashik is back in the building. Nice to see you again, bro. He says Lord Mariano's presence is enough. He doesn't need to play. Facts. Yeah, he's just an intimidation factor at this point. We just get intimidated. We just get intimidated to the point like we don't know why he's on the bench.
but even when he plays, all he does is just annoy defenders. That's pretty much all he does.
At least he does that.
Just
a
a nuisance, they're doing something.
Yeah. Like if you remember Jovic never used to do even that. So I'm just putting stuff out there. I'm not the Mariano defender. I just have a soft spot for him, for that Depor goal. I've always mentioned it, I'll always cherish that memory. But people like Mariano, he shouldn't be anywhere near the Real Madrid first team squad. It is what it is. But Ashik also says we needed a remark about Mariano's hair from Doris, just like we did before Liverpool match. There you go, man. The floor is yours, bro.
I mean, if you put something on something and you shoot it on something, it's gonna go the other way, obviously. That's what I keep saying. It's not
I didn't know what that
smooth
meant.
on there, you know. It needs to be smooth. That's why we put a ponytail low on our head, so that this part is smooth. Thank you.
I wanted that therapy, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, couple of
welcome.
times, you know. A couple of
You know,
giggles would
I love the the illustration. If you put something on something,
But
because I was thinking something else, you know, like what is something on something, you know.
no, if something is round and you put something on it, and you put something round on it, it's gonna go the other way. It's not gonna bounce properly, you know. And that's why you put your ponytail low on your head
I mean,
for a reason.
you know, I have to thank Ashik for requesting this, and at least that has given us a laugh this evening. That's a good one.
Farouk wasn't here the first time the infamous Doris Mariano meme broke, you know, but you're here for the 2.0, you know. So
And I'm so glad I'm here, Ashik. Thanks for that.
well. We should do some of this for charity, Doris, if you're down, yeah?
Sure. I'm
Yeah,
always
down the line, you know, like it seems like you have enough stand-up quotient, you know, like stand-up ability to actually, you know, deliver these
Yeah.
lines. But anyway, I see. This is the thing. Like, even if Mariano isn't helping Real Madrid in any manner this season, he's helping us with some comic relief, at least, you know. Like, this is it, man. That's why we call him Lord. But yeah, like T Nova is back. Nice to see again, man. He says, let's be honest, we'll probably be losing 0-3. Oh my God, against Liverpool and making 3-3.
No, please, no,
No.
please, no.
No Champions League drama. No Real Madrid. I remember the Chelsea game. I remember
Yeah.
how confident I was that yes, maybe we might concede, but we are gonna thump them. But what happened? Oh my God! I'm not ready, man. Honestly, I'm not ready. I'm getting old. I'm not 20 anymore. You know, I wouldn't be able to handle the stress, man. Honestly, I still remember the Chelsea game, and it wasn't an easy watch. If not for Rodrigo, I'm not sure what would have happened. You know,
I think
and
we
also
all
the Marcus.
aged a few years that day.
Facts, man.
I got a
and,
few
and
gray hairs on my head that day, honestly.
Yeah,
89
I
minute,
remember.
right?
Yeah, Rodrigo. And we also forget that there was a Marcus Alonso goal ruled out as well. So it wasn't great. Yeah, man. T-Nova, don't wish for the worst. Honestly, come on. Let's just hope we see out a very uneventful 2-0 or 1-0 win, man. That's all I ask for, honestly. And I don't want to be, you know, dragged through the mud and then rebirth. Like, honestly, I could see Jesus Christ on the wall, or go see him at a church. I don't want to see him performing miracles, you know, in the middle of the pitch at the Bernabeu. But yeah, man, 20 out of you in the chat. Don't forget to smash the like, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell on. Also, friendly reminder: we are available on all audio platforms. If you want to listen to us on the go, we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all of that. Yeah, man. We also hit a new milestone on Spotify. We amassed over 600 followers. So yeah, man. Love for the love, and honestly, it's a very very humbling experience. Because we are fairly new in the podcasting world. We are just over 1.5 years, I think. So yeah, only coming up to 2 years. It's crazy love. So yeah, man, very very humble. Also, Ashik says next year we are getting Mbappe. I'm not ready for that hype train either. I would save it for June. I don't think that train is even going anywhere, at this point, because we knew how much drama there was even before the season ended. There was headlines involving Mbappe every hour, even before the day of the Champions League final. So I'm just numb to the Mbappe saga. I don't know about the rest of the panel, Doris and
Same
Farouk,
thing, same
but
thing. We'll talk about it when it comes, and even then we will probably avoid it.
yeah, up until he comes here and blows everything out of the water, pledges his alliance to the white crest, pledges his alliance to the cause, wins as something big, undergoes a ritual, a couple of comebacks. Not gonna get too gassed. Yes, I'm gonna praise him. Yes, I'm gonna talk nice things about him. But the way the whole thing has ended up, like, it might not be his fault, like, he has to deal with actual terrorists and actual, princes and whatnot in fucking 2023. It is harsh on the kid, but until he comes and gets the job done, I'm not hearing the Mbappe talk anymore. Tino also says, therefore probably youngsters won't get a chance. I don't know about that as well. We have this dilemma all throughout our existence, man. Like, whether we go for the Galacticos or whether we go for the Pavons. There was the famous Zidane e Pavons, which worked pretty well. But let's be honest, the Galacticos fetched us a fair few titles, not exactly the OG Galacticos, but a much more refined version of the Galacticos was the team that ruled Europe for a bit, and arguably still on top of the world. But let's just see how it goes, man. Like, there is one thing that is pretty evident, right? Like, yeah, we might tend to overlook a couple of players here and there, but genuine talent, I don't think it'll go unnoticed. I don't think it'll be pushed down to the side. I hope all this gets to bear fruit, and like, people like Farouk can be proven wrong. I'm just hoping the best for my club, at this point, honestly. Ashik also says, when you're a Madridista, you must be made of ice in vein. You have to be, because of the way Madrid do their remontada on a regular basis. Well, all that is nice, bro. All that is nice after a game on the post-match, not tonight. Not tonight, unfortunately. Not tonight. Tino also says, where is Mbappe gonna even play? Position. Down the middle, can play down the right, can play down the left. He is so versatile. We gotta make room for him. We have to. I have no idea how many more years Benzema has left in him, but he definitely has a year more. I feel like, there'll be a contract renewal for him. So we got to just wait and see how it goes. Mbappe's best position is left wing, and the second best position is down the middle. We have Vini and Benzema there. So I don't know. It's going to be sticky, definitely. Just More also says, Neymar is leaving, Mbappe isn't coming. Yeah, there you go. That also kind of throws a different equation into the mix, man. Neymar is rumored to be leaving to Chelsea, After 40 players being signed, Neymar is going to be added to the roster. I don't know where they get all this money from, man. Like, Farouk, how are we going to survive, bro, when they're going to be handling out multiple 400k contracts to players just under like in the span of like 7-8 months? Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do to survive?
I mean, the point is, you can have all the money, but still, I mean, as they said, like, the bag of money isn't gonna score the goals, man. So that's the thing. Like, you can have all the money in the world, but that doesn't necessarily mean shit. If you want to spend money, then you just have to sell your soul to the devil. Just as United are gonna do, or Liverpool are gonna do so many soon. You have to get in bed with some billionaire, and and the point is, there is. I don't think there's any billionaire out there who actually made money without being the devil. That's just it. Like, you have to exploit someone to get rich. That's what capitalism is all about. So either you go with the Arabs or you go with the the white billionaires. So I mean, so far so good. We've shown that we can compete one with another. But as you said, I totally agree with you. The future looks very bleak, man, when it comes to competing with this. Or money, or billionaire money, or whatever money it is.
I thought oil money was the only thing, was the only threat to socio-owned clubs like us, like us and Bayern. But now, the NFL Cowboys have been thrown into the mix. Yeehaws and hee-haws are into the mix. So I don't know how to feel about that, man, honestly. Honestly, I hate the Americans. I don't know if I've said it before. I mean, nothing personal, but their viewpoint of the game, like, I'm not a huge fan of it. We have a very large audience, from the United States. I have nothing against any of you lot, it's all love. But, when you look at a guy like Todd Bowley at Chelsea, he's coming up. He's walking into the managerial office. He's seeing a guy who has just won the Champions League, one of the most tactically astute coaches in world football, in Thomas Tuchel, and he tells him, you know what, I'm gonna rip up your plans and start afresh. So that just goes to show, man, honestly. But yeah, another brilliant point, man. Like I said in the chat, when Alvaro scored, I was talking about Raul, but what Madrid Extra just posted, November 5th, 1994, Raul scores his first Real Madrid goal against Atleti at the Bernabeu. February 25th, 2023, Alvaro Rodriguez scores his first goal against Atleti, written in the stars, Doris.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know that stat. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, I think we already discussed Alvaro. I mean, it's not him. It's Ancelotti. Basically, it's the relationship that they have at this point right now. Ancelotti is not a trusted man, and we've seen that. Like, this is not something new to us. And
do you think Alvaro is Carlos' new gum vendor?
I don't know what that is, but I don't know
vendor,
where you
bro,
guys
a vendor
are.
who sells gum.
Okay, I guess so. I don't even.
Because I don't see why he gets a special treatment. There has to be something, either nudes or gum. So
What do you mean?
I think
Special treatment.
in the sense that Alvaro has been given much more of a leading role under him, at least from Castilla. Arribas, yes, he has
Well, I
gotten a
guess
few
it's just what
opportunities,
we needed. I guess. I mean,
Mm.
we can always call for our fullbacks. We are constantly crying about our fullbacks and Castilla players and all that. But
oh my God, look who's in the chat.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Welcome, Rahul. Welcome back. I hope you're fine. Hope you're happy. Opa Atleti, come on, type that out. So that we can bring it up on the
Yeah,
fucking
do
screen.
it. Do it. Come on.
This was your Champions League final, mate. I hope you're happy. For listeners on our audio platforms, Rahul is a fellow Atleti fan who regularly joins us
What do you
on a
mean,
whim.
fellow?
I mean, in the sense that he has been joining
Choose your
us.
words wisely, Sanaira. It's not a fellow fan.
Okay, fair enough. Well, the prick, Rahul. Right. Where you buy referee? Bro, calma. Honestly, that wasn't our fault. We had to appeal. Gil Manzano is a madman. He
Oh yeah,
looks
let's talk about the red card. Thoughts?
not
Yes
a
or
red
no?
man, honestly. Not a red.
Not a
I've
red.
seen murder happen right in the middle of the pitch and nothing being given.
Yeah. Not a red. He literally just elbowed him. If anything, it's a yellow, maybe. Even that, like
And Simeone was in the
It's two
touchline
players
showing,
just-
the height difference. Remember?
that too. Yeah. I don't know. I would have been pissed if that was one of our players, but since it's Atleti,
Yeah. Face that, eat that, take that, right? I understand. Yeah, man, Rahul, congratulations, bro. I hope this kind of eases the pain because I've been talking to a few of my Atleti mates and they were not in very good spirits coming into this game. And in in general, the season has been a write-off for Atleti. So I hope this kind of reinstills some hope. Perez dealing with referee before the match. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. Fair enough. If we would have dealt a bit more better, Perez, if you're listening, a couple more extra million, and if we got the 2-1 win, would have been better, bro. Like a red card wouldn't help us much, did it? But yeah, a quick look ahead, bro. Farouk, this fixture list is mad. Yeah, like we face Barcelona on Thursday and then Betis at the weekend. Espanyol the other weekend, and the next midweek we play Liverpool, and then 4 days later, I repeat, 4 days later we play Barca again. How does this look? And then it's an international break, so we can't even rely on the international break to kind of have a breather. Now this is all going to culminate in like a sprint.
Yeah, man. So that's the thing, man. Honestly, this is the the side product. I would say it's the side product of success, man. Like to when you go deep in all these competitions, you just have to play all these matches, honestly. But the point now becomes like, how deep is our squad? Like how capable are we? And when one player falls injured, it's a big ask to replace. And I mean, even 1-2 players. I'm talking about players like Karim Benzema and Vinicius Junior. Like honestly, like our team is so reliant on them that any slight injury to them is going to be a really big deal. So like how do we manage that? It's something that I don't know. But about the games, I mean, we've been there, done it before. So like every successful team literally has to play games every 3-4 days. That's the thing. If you're playing once a week, then I'm sorry, your definition of success is different. So just how does Carlo eventually come around with the rotation and all that? That's just that's what's going to define how we come out of this difficult schedule.
Yeah, suffering from success, bro. DJ Khaled, that is the that is the undertone, I guess, for tonight's podcast, bro. We had a big fixture at Anfield. We passed it with flying colors. We faced a very, very tough setback early into the game in a very hostile atmosphere. Anfield is no easy place to go and get a result. We did that, and tonight I hope we could build upon it, but unfortunately the scenario in La Liga has been pretty dire for weeks. And yeah, man, people listening in, please don't call me out when I actually am just expressing what I see in this team. What is there in evidence, right? Yeah, we can all go and bring out the Oja board, summon a couple of spirits, summon a couple of spirits of Puskas, Amancio, like you name it, all the greats, the spirit of the Bernabeu, Juanito, you name it. But we can only go by what we are seeing at this moment in time, and the signs are not good, mate. Especially in the league, and this consistency is gonna actually tell us how we are going to navigate the Champions League as well. Because if we can't be consistent, we are gonna see a couple of shocking performances. I just don't want that to happen. Like we discussed before, I want our team to use the league games as a stepping stone, as kind of a mock practice before the Champions League. Because let's get it straight, it is the Champions League or nothing. Like, would you guys be fine with just the Copa del Rey this season, Farouk and Doris?
I don't think any fan would, but
Yeah.
if it happens, it happens. I mean, we cannot, cry about it. The only thing we can do now is focus on the Champions League, and I mean, if it happens, it happens. And what would suck even more is winning neither, and that's also an option. It's kind of sad that the only reason we're really talking about this is because it's February. It's only round of 16 right now. We haven't really gotten anywhere yet in the Champions League. And it's really early to, write
And we
things
bet a
off.
Liverpool team who are eighth. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Eighth and eighth in the Premier League.
I mean,
So
considering the teams, we have a better chance this year winning it than last year. If only we were playing, the way we were last year, but obviously that is not happening. But yeah, I think we just got a little too ahead of ourselves. It is February, and it sucks that the league is pretty much over for us. But there are some upsides to that we can finally rest some of our players, like Vinicius. He's been playing every single game, all the time. I feel like if he just sat through at least like one game, it would it would be better for him, I guess.
To be fair, he missed a game through suspension, I think, a week before. So yeah, but I totally understand your call for it.
Still, especially
Yeah.
this month. This month is proof that our players get no rest. At least in the attack, like no rest. The midfield can change, and you can substitute some players, but Vinicius doesn't change and Benzema doesn't change, and at least now we get some breathing room for that. We're still gonna need them, obviously, but at least we get some breathing room for that. And when it's Champions League nights, we can finally rest our players the game before, or not go as hard as we would in the game previous to that one, or the Champions League.
Fair enough. One last question before we kind of wrap this up. Rudiger, Farouk, do you think he has been getting better, or do you think it is just same old? Because
Nope. I actually don't see that. Honestly, I don't see that at all. Honestly, I just don't know, man. I just keep hoping he eventually starts to show up here and there, but nah.
encouraging signs were there for a bit, during the last few weeks, but it's not enough. Not enough for a player of his caliber, of his experience. Let's not get it twisted. He's not 23. He's 29.
Isn't he 30? I thought he was like 30 or 31.
He's 29, if I'm not mistaken. Not 30 yet, but yeah, 30 soon.
The thing is with Rudiger, I've always just tried to make an excuse about continuity and like thereof, but I don't know, man. I'm just on the fences right now. Honestly, I'm still on the fences, but he hasn't shown me anything. And honestly, I still don't, see that. As you said, you see us kind of, how should I say? You see, you're building a sort of, you're building into something, As even last year we could see with Militao and Alaba, we could see that, okay, this could be something, you understand? And eventually we were proven right that this was something indeed. Well, at least I personally haven't seen that from Tony Rudiger, honestly, till date. I don't know why there is that, but I've always said, as that lack of continuity in the defense might be something as well, that, he doesn't understand what's going on around him yet. So maybe let's still give him that benefit of the doubt, and let's see when, Mendy is back and eventually, you're settled on a starting, back four. Maybe that way we might see something from him. But I just even fear that when Mendy is back, eventually he's been, pushed out of the team. Eventually he just becomes a rotation option. But yeah, so far so good, man.
I just want last year's Champions League and La Liga double winning defense back. Honestly, I just want Alaba, Militao, and Mendy doing their thing, man. Honestly, yes, they are not perfect. Yes, they have their weaknesses. Yes, we might concede the same type of goals, but when they're starting, I don't know, they just instill me with a little more confidence than Rudiger and Militao. But that's just me. But yeah, I guess that is pretty much a wrap, people. Almost 15 of you guys in the chat. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, tell a friend to tell a friend. Share the thing so that we can reach fellow Madridistas as quickly as possible. Honestly, we are on the road to 1K. We are almost like on 560-ish, I think, the last time I checked. So yeah, man, if you can push us over 1K before the season ends, it'll be massive. Trust me, it'll be massive for this project, because we have been doing this non-stop, putting so much on the line. Most of us are like working and studying at the same time, so this is kind of a tall order for us, especially with us being in different time zones and whatnot. So yeah, man, if you like what we are doing, don't forget to share the thing. Also, we are available on all audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. So if you want to listen to us on the go, we are available everywhere, all major audio platforms. Also, do check out Real Madrid Committee, our partners on Instagram. Link is in the description below. They run a brilliant fan page. And also keep an eye out on our socials and of course on YouTube for the El Clasico preview, which is going to be hopefully on Tuesday, the latest Wednesday. We're going to decide on that and let you guys know ASAP. And yeah, man, looking forward to that. Looking forward to a good game. I think the first leg is at the Bernabeu, if I'm not mistaken. Hope we have a morale boosting performance, a morale boosting result, and something to take back to Nou Camp. And let's not forget, the next game is a bit away, so we're gonna have a break in between, so we're gonna have some sort of leeway to actually go back to Nou Camp with. I hope our team turns up, man. I hope our team gets motivated as well. It is a trophy that we don't value very much, but it's still a trophy at the end of the day. Like, it wouldn't hurt to win a Copa del Rey, and get one over Barca as well. But yeah, man. Until next time, people. Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.